but we wanted to tell everybody that we have a new YouTube channel, and we need you to subscribe to the new channel because we're not uploading or streaming on the old channel anymore. It's still the Voice of Stockton.
It's going to be fresh, brand new.
New content.
Great content.
Yeah.
Only exclusively on KXVS.
Yes. If you on this video will be a link in the description where you can click it. But if you want to type it in, we made it real easy for you. You know, bit.ly, the short link, bit.ly. So you can type bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. So bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. That's easy enough, right, Donovan? Donovan is the silent minority.
Speechless.
I'm trying to get my accent right. Hold on. I'm just throwing over it in my head. Let me start. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. How to do it? All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go subscribe to this new channel. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, what's different about this channel than the last one?
Well,
what's changed?
Well, we're making some changes. We're always doing something new, but this is something that we had to do this, and we've had to do this for a while. So this new channel, it's really not much different, except the channel will be different. So all our new content is going on the channel, and we're going to migrate all our videos over to that channel as well, and we won't be using the old channel. So if you're waiting on that channel, you'll be missing it. So please do subscribe to our new channel, and it's real easy. You know, follow us on Facebook, thevoiceofstockton.org. You can find us everywhere. Keep watching us on our live streams, but that's it. We just wanted to break in and tell you that.
And let's make Stockton better together.
That's right. Make Stockton better together. All right. So, you know what? Let's start this track over because this is the best bomb song. And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. KXVS, the Voice of Stockton with Donovan and Mr. Details, Dustin Breakwell. This is Governor Don signing off.
This is Darius Oliver, and you're listening to 92.1 KXVS, the Voice of Stockton.
This broadcast will start in 60 seconds. This broadcast will start in 45 seconds. This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Live here at KXVS on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and so glad to have you join us today. We have some really exciting information, and I have a wonderful guest today. Many of you who are in the District 4A1 and throughout the United States, we have a program that we participate in for canine companions, and we'll be talking about that today. But I would just like to share a little bit. This last Saturday night, the radio station here, KXVS, had a fundraiser. And our Lions here, Stockton San Joaquin Lions, which I'm president of, we set up a table and we had information there about the Ronald McDonald House and many of the other projects that we're doing within our district, and many of the projects that you must be doing in your own district. And one of the things I really got tickled about was the people's interest in the Ronald McDonald House and how we saved the flip-top on cans. We save that flip top and turn that into Ronald McDonald. And with that, people are able to have a night or 2 or 3 at a Ronald McDonald House for free. And this is a wonderful project. And actually, before half the evening was over, this was a street fair. I had people walking by, dropping off their Coke cans and their Coke, I mean, not the whole can, but the Coke can flip top. So the word got out, and that was really exciting. So I think that all of you who are possibly collecting the flip tops, let everybody know in your community and give them one of the Ronald McDonald houses. I passed out many of them Saturday night, and tell them, fill them up, contact you, and go pick them up. Okay? So today I am very excited about our program. One of the programs that we have throughout the United States is the Canine Companions program. And today we have our District 4A1 chairperson, Barbara Rains, who is going to be talking to you about the Canine Companions program that we are doing here in District 4A1. One of the things I'd like to start out with is to say that Canine Companions project also has the Wounded Veterans Initiative. Well, not only are puppies raised to help many children and other adults in service work, but we also have the Wounded Veterans Initiative. And this is where a service dog or hearing dog is teamed up with an eligible veteran and to help to make his quality of life even better. There are quite a few there's eligibility for veterans to receive the service dog or to have a hearing service dog. And some of them is that the physical disability has to be resulted from military service. And also the disability is full or partial use of the upper body. Good cognitive ability and clear speech is very important. And that the veteran is fairly adjusted to life with a disability and at least 1 year post rehabilitation. These are very important eligibility requirements for veterans to receive the services of a service dog or hearing dog. But I want you to all know that those of you who are veterans or know veterans, if you feel that a service dog would be helping you or to make your life even have a higher quality, this service is free. And if you have a chance to get in touch with the Lions Club that is also following this project, and as you can see right now on your screen, almost all of Maribel is showing. The Maribel is also our service dog that is here today. She is in training and a puppy, and we will be meeting with her very shortly. And so I would like to, at this point, I would like to introduce to you my guest today. And this is Lion Barbara Rains. She is with the Chowchilla Green Hill Lions Club here in California and in District 4A1. And in fact, Barbara's husband is a past district governor, Ron Rains. And Barbara is our district's chairperson for the Lions Project for Canine Companions. And I want to say welcome to our show today. I'm very excited to have you here. And the puppy that Barbara is raising, her name is Maribel. And one of the things I would like to start out with is asking Barbara, how did you get started in this project?
Before I get started, I want to thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
It's good to be here. How I got started in the project, I was at a California Lions convention a few years back, and past District Governor Don Allen was giving a little workshop about Canine Companions for Independence and being a puppy raiser. And I was still working at the time, but thought that's something that I'd be interested in doing. And so that's become my after retirement job.
And this is one of your passions of raising puppies, right?
Absolutely is a passion of mine. The puppy that I'm raising right now, Maribel, is my third puppy. And it's just, it's a wonderful cause. There are so many possibilities for the dogs to be service dogs. So,
when you first get a puppy, how old are the puppies?
the puppies are 8 weeks old. They are quite a bit of the program with Canine Companions for Independence is volunteer. So I would say the first phase of that is what we call breeder caretakers. And they have the female, they whelp the litter, they
And what is whelp?
birth, they help
Oh,
with the birthing.
okay.
And they have the whole litter in their home for 8 weeks. And when the puppies are 8 weeks old, then they are delivered to the Canine Companions for Independence campus in Santa Rosa.
Now, these are volunteers that raise the puppies, or are they paid staff?
No, they are
okay,
volunteers.
volunteers.
The breeder caretakers are volunteers. The breeding females live in their home. The breeding males live in a home as well. And when it's time for them to be bred, they are taken to the campus in Santa Rosa where that happens. Then they go back to the home and they live in the home. So at 8 weeks, the puppies are taken to the campus in Santa Rosa. And the next day, after they have been chipped and
Now, being chipped, what does that mean for those?
that gives well, it's like any chip that an animal gets at when you go and pick them up at the shelter, for example. It just gives them identification. So
Is it a chip that they actually have put in their body?
yes.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
it's in
all
their
right.
neck.
Mhm.
They also have a tag. Maribel has a tag on her collar that identifies her with her number for Canine Companions for Independence. So I picked her up when she was 8 weeks old, and she's just this little fluffy ball of fur, and training starts right away. So by this time now, she is 15 months old.
And what kind of dog is she? There she
She-
is. Maybe she can
I
sit
can
up a
have-
little bit more.
I
We can
have-
see.
I can have her sit up.
Yeah.
Maribel, sit. She's asleep. Maribel. Here, puppy. Here, puppy.
You might have to adjust the
Heel.
camera a little bit to get on her here in a minute.
Heel. Sit. There we go. I think that'll work. That'll work. She's half lab.
Well, there's part of her.
She's half lab and half golden. She's turned her head.
I'm
She's
gonna see
being
if I can-
shy today.
I know. Well, this is a different environment for. I'm going to try to move our camera, so
Okay.
might get a little bit more of her in just a minute. We'll see. Beautiful dog.
Puppy raisers are responsible for teaching the dogs 30 commands. They're basic commands, anywhere from learning their name to how to walk through a doorway. So if she's walking with me and we come to a doorway, I say out, whether we're going in or out, and she has to walk through the doorway, turn around, sit and face me, and wait for the next command. So if I were in a wheelchair, I would give her the out command, and then as I'm rolling forward, I would say back, and she will walk backward, and then after I get through the doorway, I will say heel or side, depending on which side of my body I want her.
Uh-huh.
And then we let's go. And that's the command, to stay next to me and walk.
Now, at all times, do you have a leash on her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And for training purposes, she wears what's called a gentle leader. She doesn't have it on today, but that just gives me a little bit more control over which direction her head goes, and whichever direction her head goes, her body's going to follow.
Oh my gosh.
And lots of treats. I have my treat pouch, and that goes with me everywhere.
So she has a lot of rewards as she's learning.
Yes, as she's learning, and as she gets older, then we pull back on the treats. But in the beginning, you feel like a little machine. You're just constantly giving, because you're rewarding. You're always rewarding, and positive praise as well.
Right.
But labs respond well to treats.
Now, before you become a trainer, then do you have to go for classes to learn how to be a trainer? Can you tell us about what that consists of?
Actually is concurrent with the raising the puppy. So the puppy has to go to classes at least once a week. And with the first puppy I raised, we drove to Sacramento once a week for puppy classes with a Canine Companions for Independence sanctioned
And that's
puppy
in Sacramento,
raiser.
California, for those of you outside of California.
Now, there are several, but that was the closest for me. So that's, for me, a 2.5-hour drive one way. But I could have chosen to take her to another dog trainer, for example, but I wanted to learn how to teach the commands the way that Canine Companions wants them taught.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And now, rather than driving that distance, I will check in with the trainer, or I will take the dog every other month, say, and just have an evaluation of her and for me.
Oh,
so that I make sure that,
that you're doing
we're
the
on
right
track.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how long actually do you keep the puppy before the puppy goes back to the school?
We have the puppies for approximately 1.5 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that long. Okay.
It is. And so during that time, besides the 30 commands that the puppy raiser is responsible for, every month I have to send in a progress report to the location in Santa Rosa, and then a lot of socialization with the dog. So she goes everywhere with me.
I know you how many puppies have you raised now?
She's the third one.
Oh my, yes. Barbara brings the dogs to the district meetings and conventions, and everybody has a chance to see all of the wonderful dogs.
Everybody in town knows Maribel. The grocery store, the bank, you name it, wherever, Target. If I walk in and they don't see her with me, they want to know where she is.
Oh, my. So all of that is what you call socializing, by taking the dog out in the community?
Socializing. They have to, you want them not to be afraid of loud noises, sudden noises, different noises. You don't want them to alert to anything. So there is a huge bond between the puppy raiser and the puppy, because there has to be, because we are asking them, demanding them to go against their nature in some ways, because puppies are very playful. So they have to learn when they see a bird to ignore the bird, when they see a leaf flying in front of them when they're walking, to ignore the leaf. Their eyes are supposed to always be front and center, and they are focused on the puppy raiser.
Now, Barbara, how are you able to do that? to give that kind of training so they don't chase after the birds or
Well, that's-
other animals or whatever when they're puppies?
That's the command is don't, and as soon as it happens. So it's like, the first 4 months of raising a new puppy are very intense because I consider myself on duty all the time unless the puppy's kenneled, and even if the puppy is kenneled, they can't bark or whine, so you have to remind them to be quiet. There's not a lot of downtime because I feel it's important to have a good start. What is the saying? You begin as you mean to go on.
Right. Now, being that the dog is living with you in the home, to what aspect, like with your husband Ron and other members of your family, how do they interact with the dog in the dog's training?
Well, the rules apply. There is no jumping on the furniture unless they're invited to get up. There's no jumping on people, and there's a proper way to greet when people come over. And those are behaviors that you really want your own dog to exhibit anyway.
Definitely.
But we all make 100% effort to enforce that with the puppy in training because those are behaviors that are just not allowed.
Now, has your husband, has Ron gone with you when you've gone to the school for your training or evaluations?
He's gone with me. Our daughter has gone with us. Our grandchildren have gone with us, and they all know the commands. Our granddaughter is almost 11, and she's taken a great interest. And once the puppy is a year old, I let her take the dog for walks just around the neighborhood, so like around the block. She knows what she's doing. She knows the commands, and by then, so does the puppy. So there's not a lot of correcting that has to be done.
Well, I would think that is absolutely great because the dogs are going to have to interact with all kinds of people, right?
Right.
Once they're with their new owner. And so by having your family participate in the training and being around, then it gives the dog the opportunity to, like you say, socialize with many different age groups and different people and different situations. That's good.
We go out to the schools and visit classrooms and put on a program for individual classrooms and teach the children about what it means to see a dog in a vest, what their behavior should be, and what it shouldn't be. So it's good education for everybody.
Well, that's excellent. So, so what you're saying is that you can go out to any of the schools, perhaps as a guest, to come within our district and come to elementary schools.
I prefer going into classrooms. Going to like a whole school assembly would be a little overwhelming for a dog, especially a puppy. An older dog would be not a problem, but a puppy, I think that would just be a little overwhelming. But classrooms definitely.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Not a lot of young children, even high school students too, know what it means to have a working animal or like canine companion, and how you should address them or understand what the work is they're doing. Now, I know I used to, at my university, I had a very dear friend. She was the director of students with disabilities, and she was in a wheelchair, and her service dog helped her pull her wheelchair, helped her in and out of doors, many, many, many different things. But one of the things that she would not allow is people petting her and interacting with her when she was working.
Exactly.
But that's not the same way with the canine companion dog, is
No,
it?
it really, it is. It is. It depends on the situation. If I am out with her and children especially, but a lot of adults too, you know, they see the puppy, they want to pet the puppy, and they'll say, I know I'm not supposed to pet the puppy, and I thank them for that. And then I tell them if they want to pet her, then I have to prepare her. So I will have Maribel sit, and I will say release and give her permission to say hi, and then then they can greet her.
Well, now that's interesting. Yes.
Yeah. So her focus is always supposed to be on me, because once she's matched with someone and is working, you don't want her to be distracted by other people, by anything that's going on around her.
Now, can you tell us, say for instance, if we have a person who is a wheelchair user, what would be some of the duties for one of the puppies, for one of the dogs?
Well, let me start by saying, once the puppy is 18 months old, we have a ceremony where the dogs are turned back over to Canine Companions for Independence, and they are then with a professional trainer with a string of about 6 to 8 other dogs, and they are with that trainer, and they work every day on advanced commands. And those advanced commands can be opening a door, opening drawers, taking clothes out of a clothes dryer, turning on lights, those just to name a few. And then once a dog is matched, after they've gone through their advanced training and they're matched, other commands that the person they are matched with can include other things, like helping take off a jacket or a sweater, or socks, things like that. They're also in advanced training, they're taught to pick up small objects off of the floor, how to pick up a credit card.
Oh my gosh.
How to retrieve it, so that when they pick it up, when they get it off the floor, they pick it up, they have to bring it and put it in the hand of the person. So one of the commands that I have taught Maribel is fetch. But fetch means that she has to bring whatever we're playing with, she has to bring it and put it in my hand.
So how would she know what to fetch? So as if perhaps you're in the living room and the person drops, like you say, there's a credit card, but there's possibly some other items on the floor too. Is there any kind of a command to distinguish between any particular objects?
Well, that's a good question, but I would venture to guess that if an item has been dropped, that you're going to be close to that item, and so you would call the dog's name, and the command would be get. And point. And
so they're trained to pick up whatever's the closest to the person in most cases.
Right. I think if there were several things, there might be some trial and error, but usually it's pretty obvious what's been dropped on the floor.
So, what are some of the other commands for other duties?
Well, the dogs are trained based on what they are going to be serving as. So there are several areas. You mentioned the Wounded Warriors Initiative. There's a skilled companion, there's a service dog, there's a hearing dog, and there's a facility dog. And then for a part of the Wounded Warrior Initiative is also training dogs to be matched with someone with PTSD. So what happens when the dogs are turned in for advanced training is they are given a complete physical, but they are also given a personality assessment. And that personality assessment helps them, the trainers, decide what area based on the dog's personality they could best serve. For example,
okay.
hearing dogs are usually the more active dogs, because a hearing dog has to always be hyper alert and aware of all the sounds going on around them so that they can alert their person. Whereas a facility dog, who could be possibly in a courtroom or a hospital or even in a classroom with children with special needs, those dogs are usually more quiet, calm, about the opposite as you can get from a hearing dog. So that, just as an example. So they determine based on the dog's personality where they think they might best fit, and then they work their training around that. But all of the basic commands are reinforced.
Now, when you're talking about personalities, and a lot of people don't think a lot of animals have personalities, but they do, I'm quite sure. Can you maybe tell us a little bit of some of the personality traits that the dogs might have in matching them with the individual person?
Sure. Maribel is the third dog I've raised. The first dog I raised was a very hyper dog, I would say. She was very busy and active, would probably be a better word. Very active, and was happiest when we were going and doing, always. And I played with her a lot. And in advanced training, she was happiest when she was busy. And she was returned to us, puppy raisers. If there's a medical reason and the dogs are released, they're called change of career. The puppy raisers always have the first option to take them back, and we took her back in a second. There was never any doubt. So she lives at home with us. She's our pet, but she also helps train the other puppies that we get.
Oh.
Because she knows all the commands. And
So she was not matched with someone?
no, she was released from the program. She has hip dysplasia.
Okay.
And it's pretty significant. And so she's our pet now, and is with us, and we're happy to have her.
What was her name?
Oriane.
Oriane.
Yeah. And then the second puppy that I raised is a service dog. She lives with a lady not too far from here, and she is what's called a successor service dog. So the woman had a service dog from Canine Companions for Independence, and that service dog was retired. And so she put in an application for another service dog, and so now she has Kristen.
Okay.
And Kristen is all business. She's just all about taking care of what's being asked of her to do and not messing around. And Maribel here is very affectionate, and she loves children. She doesn't want to jump on them or lick them. She just likes, she's intrigued by them, and she wants to be with them. So we'll see what happens with that.
Would she then be a good match to be matched up with a child?
Well, I think she would be. We'll just have to wait and see what they decide when she goes into advanced training.
I know when I met her today, she was very, very affectionate, just very, very welcoming, and got to scratch her behind the ears and talk to her, and she sat and just was as sweet as could be.
She's a very sweet dog.
My goodness. And so, there's so many questions I want to ask you about the training.
Can I say something
Yes,
about
please.
the advanced training?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Like I said, 18 months approximately, they are turned back in for advanced training, and they are with a trainer all the time, except, of course, during the night. But during the day, they are working off and on all day long, but they also have time to play. They give them time to just run around at the Canine Companion campus in Santa Rosa. There's a very large area which would be for us like a dog park, and the dogs just go out there and run around and have a lot of fun. But there's a lot of work, so they've definitely earned that fun. And
How many dogs do they have at the school at one time generally? Do you have any idea?
I am not sure, but it could be anywhere from 50 plus
Okay.
that are in advanced training. And then they also have their area for the breeders that's separate. And there's a veterinary staff and office there on the campus as well. So let's say you want or need a service dog in your life, whether you are a veteran with PTSD or you have a child that's in a wheelchair, you have a child that has been diagnosed with autism, you might be a special education teacher and feel that your whole class could benefit from having a facility dog, or a physical therapist. There's all manner of possibilities there. What you would do is you would go onto the website for Canine Companions for Independence. It's cci.org, and fill out an application. And the process is about 2 years long.
So that's a waiting period?
It's a waiting period. So
Okay.
you put in your application, and then someone from CCI will contact you. And during that time, they'll find out about your disability and what your needs are. And as the dogs are trained and it's near graduation and it's your turn to receive your service dog or facility dog or hearing dog, you will get a call from Canine Companions for Independence. And at that time, there's what we call match day, and the dogs and their new graduate are matched, and the graduate spends 2 weeks on the Canine Companion campus living in a dorm and being trained on how to use the service dog in their life.
Now, when you say graduate, what does that mean?
The graduate is the person that is receiving the dog.
Okay.
Okay, and so the graduate lives on campus in a dorm, and during that 2 weeks, there's a point in time when the dog is allowed to go into their room with them, and the dog is with them all the time. And then at the end of that 2 weeks, we have the graduation ceremony, and that is when the puppy raiser gets to hand over the leash to the graduate. And before that happens, we get to see the puppy again, because once from turn in to graduation, we don't see the dog. We get a monthly progress report. So, and we all sit on pins and needles waiting to hear how our puppy's doing in advanced training. And so we get the progress report, but we haven't seen the puppy, and we get to see them on graduation day and spend time with them. Now, the second dog I trained, she was in advanced training for 9 months. And everybody asked me, do you think that she'll remember you? And when she came out of the van and I was standing there, she jumped up and gave me all kinds of kisses.
Oh,
and
she
knew me.
remembered you.
Yes, she did.
Well, that's excellent, because you really, while raising them, and you say you raise them for about a year and a half?
About a year and a half.
Well, you really can develop a bonding there.
Absolutely.
Very strong bonding.
Absolutely. And that brings up another point I wanted to make. Probably the biggest deterrent for people to not want to be a puppy raiser is they say, I could never do that, I would just get too attached. Well, you need to go to a graduation and turn in, which we call matriculation. It's all done together. Matriculation is first, and then there's a graduation ceremony for the graduates. But it's two separate things.
And what is the
Matriculation is the ceremony where we go up on stage with the puppy that we've raised. They say a little bit about the puppy. They show some pictures that we have sent in. Then we go off stage. And then a few hours later, we go back over to the campus with the puppy and we turn him over and walk away and try really hard not to cry until it's over and done. And that the point I wanted to make is when you go and see that, you know that it is just as hard for any puppy raiser as it would be for anybody else, because everybody's crying. You can't, I get teary-eyed just talking about it. You can't help but be emotional because there is a bond. But then when you truly see the gift and how that gift has changed a person's life, then I can live with some tears knowing that I've done that.
That is excellent. That is so excellent. It's so unselfish. I mean, for this type of work that Barbara's talking about, it's just amazing the kind of character that you are, and the kind of wonderful kindness she has, and graciousness, and true lionism, giving so much, and being able to spend this long of a period of time, 1.5 years, loving and raising an animal and getting bonded. It can't be helped. And then to be able to see that your great work is doing so much for another person in need.
That's right.
I mean, it's commendable.
Oh,
now,
thank you.
I'd like to say that in Barbara's Lions Club, and here in our district, she has... How long have you been with the Lions Club?
6 years.
6 years only.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what you've been doing. Raising 3 puppies during that period of time. And she has also been a Melvin Jones Fellow recipient, which is a very high honor. And she has also been a Lion of the Year in, what was it, 2017? Mm-hmm. And so she's really done a lot, and a lot of recognition, and a lot of thank yous have been given to her for all the work that she's been doing. And you are a life member now of the Canine Lions Project
for Canine Companions.
For Canine Companions.
Yes.
Long title.
My club very graciously presented me with a life membership to the Lions Project for Canine Companions for Independence, and it's an honor. That's what this little pin is right here. With the little, where is it? With the little dog. Yeah.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. I've seen you at so many district meetings and other places, and giving an explanation of what you're doing in the work that you do, and the love that you show the animals. It's so commendable. I mean, I don't think everyone can be able to do what you're doing. There are a few other members in our district now are raising.
There's one other member that's raising a puppy for Canine Companions for Independence, and I'm hoping that we can get a few more. It is a commitment, and not everybody is able to make that commitment, but I'm the only puppy raiser from my club, but my club supports me.
Right.
Green Hills Lions Club in Chowchilla is my Lions Club, and they have helped financially sometimes because it's completely volunteer, and fortunately none of my dogs have had any health issues, but we needed a travel crate a couple of years ago, and they helped with the purchase of that.
Well, that's
So
wonderful.
There's a lot of support.
Well, I know in our district we do some fundraising. And right now there's the tickets for a drawing for
Yes.
the Canine Companions. And this is really a very fine program. I don't know if all the districts have this. Is that drawing? Is that
It's
national?
national.
It is national.
It's national.
Okay.
Canine Companions is a national program, and I probably should say something about that.
Yes, please do.
It's been around since the mid-'70s, started in Santa Rosa. That is our national headquarters, but we have 6 campuses throughout the United States. And Lion's project for Canine Companions for Independence is just simply Lions, a way for Lions to help promote the program, to help promote puppy raising and raising money for Canine Companions, because it is a nonprofit.
And you're saying there's only 6 campuses in the United States?
There are 6 campuses in the United States, but there are puppy raisers all over
Oh,
the United
yes,
States.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. That's wonderful. And let's see. You told me we have a graduation possibly coming up here for in California. Here, you said August 10th.
August 10th, there is a graduation, I believe, and the graduation day is they are national. So when I say August 10th, then there's a graduation at each
On the
of
same
6
day?
campuses on the same
Oh,
day.
how wonderful!
Yeah, and they are live streamed, so you could watch
Over
one.
YouTube. Yeah. Okay.
I would just, if anybody is ever able to go to a Canine Companion graduation, do. It's very moving. You know, you get to meet the people that are receiving the dogs, the graduates themselves, and learn how the dogs can help benefit that person. And
That's
change
wonderful.
Their life.
I know at a lot of the district meetings, you and Ron have talked about going to the graduations. And this year, I would love to get a group from District 4A1. If you're out there listening, I'd like to get a group of us to go to the graduation, because being able to, at the meetings, donate and so forth is one thing, but being able to go and see where the donations go to and see the whole program and to see the graduation. And like Barbara's saying, her giving over the puppy to the new owner is, I imagine, like you say, the tears. I can imagine how emotional, even for those of us who would not be puppy raisers, but just to see the marvelous program and see what it does for those who are receiving the puppies.
And typically on graduation day, before graduation, the campus is open for a tour, and they often do exhibit dogs' skills.
Okay.
So that's
And do they have
opportunity.
people give lectures about?
Not necessarily lectures,
Or
but they
discussions.
will give a demonstration. The trainers will demonstrate what the dogs have learned, what they need to learn, and sometimes even how to teach different commands. And to tour the campus, it's pretty amazing. The campus is just
Fantastic.
beautiful.
So here in California, we have one school, one campus.
We have
and-
2 in
oh,
California.
2. One is in Santa Rosa,
One is in Santa Rosa, and one is in Southern California.
in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you recommend to all the clubs here in California or throughout the United States that are watching us, and even throughout the world? What would you recommend to all of us to do to support Canine Companions?
Well, there are a couple of ways that clubs can support Canine Companions for Independence. One is a direct donation, and another is, I guess you could say indirectly, there are several awards that clubs can purchase to present to members of their club. One is the Abdul, and it, I believe, is $100.
Okay.
So the other is the life membership, and then there are donations where you can adopt a puppy, and you're helping to, cover costs for training, and so on. But what my club has started doing is, instead of just directly donating, say, $300, we purchased 3 Abdul Awards and presented them to different club members.
Okay.
Their, work and service as lions in the community.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's those are two ways. Yes.
Definitely. Well, Barbara, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, this is one of our district's biggest projects, and Barbara has been fantastic supporter of this program, and always with her puppies. And
if I can get Maribel,
we want to get Maribel to sit up, and maybe our technician can get the camera over to Maribel,
Here, puppy.
so you can get a real good look at her.
Here, puppy. Okay, I'm gonna go this way because she doesn't.
She's absolutely beautiful. And what type of a dog is she?
She's half golden retriever and half lab. Maribel, heel. Good girl. There you go.
She's so beautiful.
Good girl.
And you've had her now for how long?
She is 15 months old.
15 months.
And I got her when she was 8 weeks old, so 13 months.
Excellent.
A little over a year.
Well, I want to thank you for being here. And Maribel, I want to thank you for being here too. And I want to thank you, everyone out there, for watching. I hope that you'll talk to your clubs about supporting the Canine Companions. Sorry.
Canine Companions for Independence.
For independence. And to help this program. And if you're interested in becoming a trainer, please go to cci.org, and that's where you will find the information about this program. And again, Barbara, thank you so much.
May I add something?
Yes, please.
Maribel and I would be very happy to come and visit your club and give a presentation, and you can get my contact information from Connie.
Yes, you can. Just contact me on my web page or my Facebook page, which is the address is at the bottom of the screen, and I will be very happy to get you in touch with Barbara. So thank you, Barbara, Lion Barbara Rains, and thank you, Maribel. And thank you all out there. We'll see you next Monday, Monday at 2 o'clock. Until then, have a wonderful week. Thank you now. Bye.